Taking a break, sponsored by Banks Boats.
This weekly segment, it's what ducks, dogs, and decoys is all about. It's part of the history and tradition of our sport. It's where it's come from and where it's headed. And that could be anything from decoy carvers, call makers, boat manufacturers. It's all the extras that I really enjoy about our sport. Let's check it out. This morning we're going to ride down and see Matt Perry. He's down at the bird banding laboratory in Patuxent, Maryland.
That'll be interesting.
It will be. He's got a real nice setup there. He has a sea duck colony. Actually, he's got a couple other birds there also, so other sort of divers. I think his main interest is in the sea ducks. He's got some scoters and old squaw. He's got some surf scoters and white wings, and he's got the old squaw and longtails. We're at Patuxent, Maryland, the USGS bird banding laboratory. They've got a real nice collection of birds here, from canvasbacks, bluebills, ringnecks, surf scoters, white-winged scoters, old squaw, and now harlequins.
12 feet by 6 feet. So there's a good amount of water in there. We've got trays on the bottom, and right now we're just feeding them a little corn so they can dive down and get them started feeding. But we typically feed them mussels and clams in the trays that are in the bottom. And this is all part of Alicia Berlin's study on her PhD work. That's a male long-tailed duck there. He lost his tail. They're starting to go through molt, so they're not as beautiful as they are in the winter time or in the early spring, but they still are maintaining their breeding plumage. You see the white around the eye, pinkish bill, and then the black neck and chest.
We could describe him as he's in an eclipsing plumage then?
He's starting, yep, he's starting, not in a complete eclipse yet, but he's starting to molt into it. So essentially the breeding season's on big time. I just came back from Churchill. The males are just leaving the females now after they get through incubation, or after the females are well into incubation, then the males leave and go to their molting areas. And so the males are still flying at that time, but then they'll start getting out of that plumage. Now, some of the males up there, interestingly, have a completely black bill, the breeding males, and that was sort of interesting. I thought they all had the pink bill, but there goes one starting to dive now, so he's just going down and diving. This water's a little cleaner than their pen water, and they sure enjoy.
Now the water, is it fresh or salt?
It's all fresh water.
Fresh water?
Yep. Which is one of the problems we have with the food, because we can't keep the food alive for very long. But it's working out so far for short-term studies. Yeah, the longtails are diving much in the wild, much deeper. Yeah. Canvasbacks go down probably a maximum of 20 feet, where these can go down in the bay, Chesapeake Bay, they're down 50 feet, and then in other areas, like the Great Lakes, we know that they're down over 100 feet.
Pat, what other birds do you have here besides those ones?
Well, we've got these birds, and then we've also got white-winged scoters and surf scoters for the sea ducks. We had hoped originally to have black scoters as part of the study that we're working on, but that's all we have for sea ducks. Then for other birds, we have buster straw and one canvasback.
You were telling me earlier you'll have some harlequins here also?
Yeah, we're getting harlequins. Alicia's working up a new study so we can do something with harlequins hopefully this fall.
We have 2 females on the male. We use the nasal saddles so that we can identify individuals a lot easier, especially underwater and on the surface.
What is the age of these birds, do you think?
These guys are 3 years old.
3 years.
We got permission to collect 16 eggs, 2 clutches from Lac-Mel Bay, Quebec. It's a very protected area, so right now we are the only ones in North America that have surf scoters in captivity.
You were telling me earlier the canvasback. What's special? What's his age is?
Well, when he came here 3 years ago, they said he was 17 plus. They could only guess that he was 17 years old, but they think he was actually older than that. He was used for a number of different studies at University of Wyoming, and along with the lesser scaup that we have.
Do you know much about how healthy the sea duck population is?
Out in the wild?
Yes.
I don't know too much about it. From what I've read and been told, they're actually doing really well with diseases and whatnot. There's not too many diseases, like avian flu hasn't been shown enough yet, or West Nile hasn't been shown in the wild populations. And so, and obviously they wouldn't, there's actually some projection that being on salt water like they usually are, you practice your salt, that makes them actually more protected from airborne diseases.
Okay.
Like we get here, we get asthma that's airborne. So we actually thought about trying to raise them on salt water, but being on a refuge kind of limits us on that.
That was Taking a Break, sponsored by our good friends from Banks Boats. Break's over. Let's get back to the hunt.